Shalom Na'ala viewers. This week is Parshat Yitro. As usual, this year is dedicated to the memory of Rachaleah bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. Now there are many events in Parshat Yitro, and I want to talk about the pivotal event in the Parsha, which is the revelation at Sinai, and specifically the Aseres Hadibros, what in English is sometimes called the Ten Commandments, although that's not a true, accurate translation. The word is dibros, which might mean sayings, utterances, or even things. So in this class, I will be translating it as the 10 utterances, or the 10 sayings, or we'll just say it in Hebrew, which is Aseret Hadibros. So let's begin. We're in chapter 20, verse 1. Vaydaber Elokim et kol hadvarim ha'ela leimor. And Hashem spoke all these things, or all these utterances, saying. And that's where we get the name Aseres Hadibros, the 10 utterances, because now they're going to be listed. And here they are, in verse 2. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, asher hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeit avadim. I am Hashem your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of slaves. Lo yelacha Elohim acherim al panai. You should not have any other gods, or any gods of others, upon my face, in front of me. So we have here the first and part of the second Dibra. Let's talk about the first. I am Hashem your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slaves. First of all, what does this Dibra tell us? Is it a command? Or is it just a statement of fact? Now, if you look at the other Dibros, they're written in command forms. Lo yihiyeh, you should not have. Lo sisa, you should not say et shem Hashem Elokecha lashav. You should not say God's name in vain. Zachor et yom haShabbos lakadsho. Remember the Shabbos to sanctify it. Lo sirtzach, don't kill. Lo sinaf, don't commit adultery, etc. We don't have that here. The first Dibra is different because it's not written in a command form. It says, it's a statement, or so it seems. Again, it says, I am Hashem your God, who took you from the land of Egypt, from the house of slaves. So our first question is this a command, or is it just a statement of fact? Now, if you look at Ramban, I'm only going to read to you a small part of it. Ramban actually says that this statement is a command. And he says, Hadibor hazeh, this statement, mitzvat aseh. It is a positive command. Now, again, translating mitzvat aseh as a positive command is a bit of a mistranslation. It actually means an active command, because aseh means to do. We have two categories of mitzvot. We have active mitzvot, mitzvot aseh, which you fulfill by doing something. For example, belief in God. That is an action that I do. I believe in Hashem. Versus mitzvot lo ta'aseh, or mitzvot you fulfill by not doing an action, which again, what the word means, lo ta'aseh, do not do. So we have action mitzvot and non-action mitzvot, which again, many people translate as positive commandments and negative commandments. Again, it doesn't mean positive and negative commandments. It means action versus non-action. Now, what Ramban says here is that this first statement, this first Dibra, is a positive commandment. Now, what is this positive commandment? Amar, Hashem said, Anochi Hashem, I am God. Yorevi yitzaveh otam. Hashem is teaching and commanding them, sheyedu, that they should know, via aminu, and believe, ki yesh Hashem, that there is a God, v'hu Elokim lahem, and He is a God to them. And then Ramban will go on to explain what does this mean. So first of all, with this, according to Ramban, this statement is a command. The command is to believe in Hashem and acknowledge that He is our God. Well, what does that mean to believe in Hashem? Does it just mean to believe Hashem exists? Well, what does that even mean to say I believe Hashem exists? So Ramban expands on that, and he explains. Well, it first of all means you have to know and believe Hashem exists, like we just read. And also that Hashem is our God. And then he continues, Klomar Havaya Kadmon. Hashem, everything exists after Hashem. Hashem existed before anything else. And then he continues to say, Me'ito hayahakol b'chefetz v'yecholet. Everything comes from Hashem because He desires it. Nothing affects Hashem. Nothing forces Hashem to do anything. Everything Hashem does is purely because He chose to do that thing. He chose to create that thing. And in that way Hashem is unique because He is unaffected by anything in the world. And then he continues to say, and then Hashem is our God, which means we must serve Him. So according to Ramban, this mitzvah, belief in God, really has many components. Not just to believe that Hashem exists. Of course, that's the basic part. But then, what does it mean to believe Hashem exists? Well, I believe that He's before anything else. And He created the world, and nothing here affects Him. And because He's God, that must mean that I must serve Him. Now, the Rambam Maimonides also lists this mitzvah as the first mitzvah, again, belief in Hashem. And he brings this verse as the source that we have a positive commandment or an active commandment, as we just explained, to believe in Hashem. Now, there are other rabbis, for example, one, the Baal Halachot Gdolot, which is the name of a book, another sefer on the mitzvot, who does not list this as a command. And the question is, why? How can you leave out belief in Hashem? And the answer that some of the commentaries give for that other view is that, of course, the Baal Halachot Gdolot believes that says you must believe in Hashem. I mean, that's obvious. It's in the Torah, and we listen to the Torah because of Hashem. But he doesn't include that as a command because he says that's really the basis for all the mitzvot. If you don't believe in Hashem, then I don't keep any of the mitzvot. The reason I keep them is because I believe in God. So because that is the basis of all our actions and our entire belief, we don't even count it as a mitzvah because it's obvious. It comes even before the rest of the commandments start. But again, we have Rambam and Ramban disagreeing and saying, no, this is a positive commandment. This is a mitzvah to believe in Hashem. Now, it's interesting, Hashem links belief in Him to the fact that He took the Jewish people out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. And the question, of course, is why? Why does Hashem link the two? Wouldn't it make more sense for Hashem to say, I am God who created the world? I mean, everything in the world exists because I created it. So that's the proof that I am God. That's the greatest evidence to God's existence. Why does Hashem choose something else, miraculous, but I wouldn't say as miraculous, taking the Jews out of the land of Egypt? So again, this is a big question. Let's first see how Rashi, the commentator we try to look at first, answers this question. So Rashi, again, we're chapter 20, Parshat Yitro, verse 2. Asher hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim, who took you out of the land of Egypt. Kedai hi ha'otza'ah shetiyu mishubadim li. Rashi says, it was worth it to take you out just so you should